It's a simple fact. The ocean matters. And the ocean community has been hard at work to achieve SDG 14, Life Below Water, by 2030. So, how are we doing so far? In this special interview with the United Nations Secretary General's Special Envoy for the Ocean, Peter Thompson, we want to know, what needs to happen between now and 2030 in order to achieve the ocean we want?
I'm very pleased to be able to interview you today with Dr. Atsushi Tsunami, President of the Sasakawa Peace Foundation. If you don't mind, could you share with us the story behind the badge you wore at the COP26?
Now, this is the badge that you were referring to. Now, these are some Fijian birds made out of bandanas, which was hanging on both sides. But the important message is here, introducing myself as the grandfather,
nice.
Grace and Mirabelle and Poppy and Rose, who are my granddaughters. And on the back side is the message of never give up. Now, I had suggested to UNFCCC that everybody who registered at the conference was given the option of some sort of electronic badge or some sort of badge identifying themselves as a parent or a grandparent or an uncle or a nephew to portray the fact that why we are working so hard on these climate change issues is not for ourselves.
What is your assessment on the outcome of the COP26, and what should we then the next target?
Look, I think everybody shared the disappointment on the watering down of the language on coal, which came towards the end. And we are still in very, very dangerous territory for humanity. If you look at the trajectories, I think there was improvement. We were, prior to Glasgow, we were on a trajectory for over 3 degrees global warming, whereas now I think we're on about sort of 2.4. Don't hold me to that, but it's that level of improvement. But obviously, we need to get down to 1.5. On the ocean side, this was a COP for us all to be proud of. I mean, I think the United Kingdom can hold a legacy here, which is that the ocean is finally embedded within the UNFCCC process after so many years of trying.
Everybody's now talking about the ocean, right? And so that's, I agree with you, because there is something very, very positive came out of from the COP26. I was in Washington actually 3 weeks ago, and I had a meeting at the State Department and the people in the government. One thing they told me that this government, that's Biden government, this government is at war with climate crisis, war with the climate change, and we have to win this war. And so it is that sense of urgency, the crisis, that I really felt in Washington, but that is not here in Japan.
Could you tell us, Ambassador Thompson, some key events related to the oceans on the agenda for the year 2022?
Well, I can tell you that it is completely unprecedented, the level of activity on ocean action over the next 6 months. And sometimes I wonder how we're going to fit it all in. But it starts basically in February, the 9th to the 11th of February in Brest in northwest France, where President Macron will have his One Ocean Summit. The following week after the One Ocean Summit is the Our Oceans Conference in Palau, which is co-hosted by US government and the Palauan government. And I know that the Sasakawa Foundation has been a huge help in this as well. Anyway, we move on from there still in February, at the end of February, to Nairobi for the UN Environmental Assembly. And then, of course, we will have the UN Ocean Conference itself, co-hosted by governments of Portugal and Kenya in Lisbon from the 27th of June to the 1st of July.
I also came upon a photo of your passing a baton.
Yes, nature's baton. Basically, we got an artist to build a beautiful baton out of driftwood, and inside is a steel tube into which messages are put from the presidents of the various conferences, the great environmental conferences that have been happening and are going to continue happening over the next 6 months. And the symbolism of this is to show that everything is connected. I sailed it in a yacht for sustainable reasons from Barcelona to Marseille for the World Conservation Congress of IUCN a few months ago. From there, we took it up to Glasgow by bicycles, a bicycle relay. And it will carry on to Brest, to Palau, to Nairobi, to, of course, ending up in Lisbon at the Ocean Conference.
So I think that is really like an Olympic torch relay.
Yeah, that's right. The baton is like carrying the Olympic flame or a relay race at the Olympics or something.
The UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development was launched this year. What do you see as an important element for advancing ocean science?
Why we have this decade is because we know so little about the makeup of the ocean. You know, it's estimated that we only know about 20% of the scientific properties of the ocean. And we will have some very difficult decisions to make by the time we get to 2030, you know, if current trends continue. You know, if you think about things like, I don't know, geoengineering or anything like that, you know, you don't want to make those big decisions without knowing the full picture of what you're talking about.
Well, one thing we are trying to do is really to promote this UN Decade of Ocean Science within Japan first. And also, we wanted to actually create the community and reach out to other communities in Asia.
Lastly, before we close, may I ask you touch upon again on the importance of the upcoming decade for the oceans?
You've heard my mantra, no healthy planet without a healthy ocean. And the ocean's health is measurably in decline. So in terms of, you know, what do we have ahead of us between now and 2030? Just a lot more hard work. Should we be hopeful? Yes, of course we should be hopeful. Humanity has one thing which has got us from the Stone Age to the Space Age, and that's our incredible powers of innovation. So in finding the peaceful solutions, we'll use these incredible powers of innovation that Homo sapiens possesses.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Thompson and Dr. Tsunami, for sharing your views and wisdom on ocean policy.